X is the latest action-packed entry into the Fast and Furious franchise. As you can tell by the title, this is the 10th Fast and Furious movie. Technically, it's the 11th if you count Hobbs and Shaw, which was a spin-off that takes place in the universe of Fast and Furious. But in terms of like the main saga, this is the 10th movie. This movie was directed by Louis Terrea. Fuck, what is his name? Fuck me, I'm so stupid. Am I just a black-ass Dory at this point? Just a grown version of a fish that just forgets everything? Like, when am I gonna find my Nemo? Rest assured, the movie was directed by somebody. That's really all you need to know. And it once again brings back your favorite cast and characters from the previous Fast and Furious movies. Vin Diesel, Tyrese, Ludacris, Michelle Rodriguez, Nathalie Emmanuel, even John Cena shows up in this movie. Dom and the rest of his family are living in peace. He and Letty are raising his son together. Out of the blue, an enemy shows up to warn them about another enemy that is coming from far away to give them some problems. This villain is Jason Momoa. He plays a character named Dante Reyes, who is the son of another kingpin that they took down in Brazil a few movies ago. And now he is here to wreak havoc and get revenge on Dom, and so what we have is a showdown between Dom and his family and Reyes, and the stakes are higher than they've ever been. I have such a complicated history and relationship with the Fast and Furious movies. On one hand, I am somewhat of a fan of the franchise. For me, I kind of go into the Fast and Furious movies and I accept the fact that there's a bunch of ridiculous, stupid, nonsensical shit that's gonna happen. Look at these people as like street level comic book characters at this point. Kind of just have to expect that a bunch of dumb shit's gonna happen. I will say that I enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed the previous two Fast and Furious movies, and that ain't nothing. This movie's gonna give you a lot of what you expect to see in a Fast and Furious movie. There's gonna be a lot of testosterone flying around. There's gonna be a bunch of tough, cool but corny sounding one-liners. There's gonna be some ass shots and some street race halfway around the world that you sort of care about, but you don't really care about, and you were really only interested because of the ass shots. You're gonna have some hijinks, and you're gonna have some incredibly staged but completely divorced from reality type of action sequences. This movie mostly delivers on the formula that Fast and Furious fans have come to expect. All of these characters, all of this cast is back, and they all fit well together. The chemistry is as good as it's ever been. The action sequences are so over the top and absurd. Every movie they try to top themselves in some way, and this movie is no different. Half the time you're gonna be watching, you're gonna be like, holy shit, that was awesome, that was amazing, that looked so cool. And the other half of the time you're gonna be looking at it, you're gonna be like, what the, how did that happen? How does that, what is physics? Best thing about the movie is easily the villain. Jason Momoa, he should probably play a lot more villains from now on, now that I think about it. Jason Momoa is awesome in this movie, and I like the fact that he's not playing the typical character that you would think that his character would be playing. I mean, yeah, his character's badass and kind of menacing, really sadistic, kind of scary in some scenes, but a lot of the times he also feels like this flamboyant goofball whose only purpose is to piss Dom off. Dante Reyes, his villain feels like the Joker to Dom's Batman in a way. Though, I guess when you look at the superhuman stuff that Dom can do in this movie, I guess he's more Superman than Batman, but either way, like the metaphor still applies. Believe it or not, kids, the Joker once manipulated Superman in the comic books to destroy Metropolis and kill Lois Lane. Isn't that something? But the point is, he serves as a great foil to Dom and his family. He is chaos and anarchy, and he does it in a really silly, over-the-top way that only Jason Momoa could deliver here. This movie is definitely trying to build on all of the relationships and the character dynamics that you've seen from previous movies, so I will say that if you're not a Fast and Furious fan and you haven't kept up with the events of the movies, there are going to be some parts in here you're going to be a little bit lost on. And the movie is absolutely trying to build up to this big, epic conclusion. This is technically part one of a two-part story, so there is a cliffhanger at the end of the movie. Also, stay after for a mid-credit scene. Some people are going to be very, 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 very happy about this mid-credit scene, and for me, I just kind of threw my hands up and said, yes, of course they did this, of course. I was really entertained watching it, even while accepting the fact that these movies are starting to run out of road. When I say running out of road, I mean running out of momentum. When I say running out of momentum, I mean that there are some things in these movies that used to really work that all of a sudden don't really work anymore. For one thing, I miss when these movies had some semblance of danger and adrenaline and tension, and now it's just, ooh, big, cool, somewhat CGI action sequence. Now you don't fear for these characters. Now you don't really think anything bad is gonna happen to them. You guys know at this point that people don't really stay dead in the Fast and Furious universe, so these characters go through all these death-defying obstacles and scenarios, and you just don't feel like they're ever really gonna get hurt. And they've done that a few too many times in this franchise to the point that it just kind of makes me roll my eyes when I see that a character might die or a character disappears off screen and we're supposed to think that they're dead, and I'm just like, okay, but in the very next scene, you're gonna bring back a character that was dead, so I don't care about that. I will say that this movie actually was not as funny as some of the previous movies, and it's not for lack of trying. Most of the humor at this point, you know, is gonna come from Tez and Roman and Ramsey, but a lot of the humor in this movie felt a little bit forced. It felt like they were really trying to go for the big laughs, and it just wasn't really hitting as much. In terms of the plot, it feels very stitched together and not cohesive. There's a lot of stuff happening all at once, and you're not really invested in everything, and it doesn't all tie together in a nice bow like it should. A lot of the characters in this movie are kind of split off and doing their own thing, and it just becomes a little bit difficult to keep track of what they're doing. It definitely feels like a movie in which the script was thrown together at the last minute. There are some side characters that pop up in this movie that just feel like they don't really serve much of a purpose in the movie, or they're only in the movie so that you can tease them for part 2. I'm not gonna spoil all of those type of characters, but Brie Larson is in this movie, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know why Brie Larson is in this movie. For the most part, I had a fun time with this movie, and I think a lot of Fast and Furious fans are gonna enjoy this one. Fast X was fun and really dumb, and that's really all I needed it to be. I'm gonna leave this one in the Daily Planet. What did you think about it? What's your favorite Fast and Furious movie of all time? Put that in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.